Hello, my friends, and welcome to Console Overwatch multi-tier tournament. We are here in the semifinals of the postseason. Over on the PS4 side of things, going into Tier 4 division to start things off, we have BEsports taking on the OutCasts. Here in a semifinal matchup, OutCasts, your 8th seed here in the T4 division. They've made it through the play-in game, beat your number 1 seed in a 3-0 sweep earlier in the week. Now looking to see if they can stamp their ticket into the grand finals. Billy, this should be a good matchup. This 8th seed, man, they've looked really good.
They have looked absolutely fantastic coming into this. I mean, we covered the play-in game that they played, and then they beat the Descendants last week in the quarterfinals. So, I mean, and it wasn't even close. Like, they came out and smacked them around like a rag doll. So, very impressive as OutCast team that we've seen, kind of come along and kind of grow into their own. On the other side, though, BEsports, they beat the Voyagers Tier 3 3-0 last week. They are the number 5 seed here in the PlayStation 4 Tier 4 scene. Looks like, they came in with a 7-2 regular season record, so they had a bit of momentum coming into the playoffs. I think they've had the benefit of getting that week off. How we have seen some of the top teams, even in Tier 6, we saw it last night. Top seeded teams coming in, or the very high seeds coming in and just not being ready, getting smacked around. So I'm hoping, that the quarterfinal that they had last week was actually really good to them. So we'll see what they have, kind of a little bit of scuffed anime production going on here. PlayStation is not the superior console. It's so much easier to use.
Well, I think we finally got our ducks in a row. For our opening map here, what did our teams decide on for our first control map?
Well, Bazdik from BEsports has decided that we're going to Busan.
Busan to start things off. All right, headed to lovely South Korea. Of course, this is a loser pick format. Your high seed chooses your opening round. After that, loser pick through the rest of the night. Map set will go hybrid, then assault, rounded out by escort for your 4th. And then we'll head back to control if necessary for that 5th tiebreaker round. This looks a lot like Iraq. This is...
Oh, good God.
This is the most Iraqi-looking Busan I think I've ever seen.
Remember when I said it was scuffed? Yeah.
Okay. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. Hey, that's quite all right. It's quite all right.
Oh, man, I'm having one of those days right now, trying to get everything all set up. We are going to go to South Korea, though, not Iraq. Even though I am kind of sweltering in my hoodie here, my CGL hoodie.
So, while we're getting that all situated, we'll just go run through the rosters here real quick. Start us off for BEsports. We do have Bezo and Dangle in the DPS role. Bodids and Dragon Ball will be your tank. Start us off here for BEsports with Classico, and Drop Dead will be your support lineup there for BEsports. On the side of OutCasts, looking at Marvel Sciencer and Igaros to put the hurt down. We're going to have NYI and Civic Kill in the tank department with Light Mitter, and Jeremiah will be your support lineup there for the OutCasts. Hopefully I minimize the butchering on those names. We'll, fingers crossed.
Nailed it. Nailed it. We also have Skate in the production booth tonight with us here in the casting booth, giving us a lot of comic relief and keeping our, if not the hilarity level on our own end. The mirth is never ending here. Looks like we're going to start on Sanctuary, though, Bullskunk, and this, getting into the meat of the match, this point here lends itself to a number of compositions. We've seen a lot of double shield come out here, but we've also seen the metal dive also be heavily favored here, using spin to win, get that Hammond in the back line and, kind of disrupting the flow of play. I'm really interested to see what the OutCasts are going to come out here with, as, they were able to switch up their compositions very quickly on the fly in our last games.
OutCast looking to start us off with a little Reinhardt and Roadhog. It does look like we're going to get Metal Dive here from BEsports. There's the Wrecking Ball and Diva Start things off there for BEsports, coming out with the Sombra and the Tracer in the damage department. So working those flank angles against this rushdown composition that OutCasts are bringing here. Garros and Marvel there with the Doomfist and the McCree, respectively. Marvel trying to challenge the Tracer, who's in their back line, just keeping them in check, making sure that they don't have a whole lot of room to work. Going to turn his attention now to that D.Va who's been taken out of the mech. Pilot sent back to spawn. One-man advantage here for OutCasts on the point. Make that two. NYI coming up with a big kill onto the Hammond. And first control going to OutCasts here on Sanctuary.
Yeah, the DPS of OutCasts right now are really showing up and kind of checking the flanks that are coming into them. Nyai on the Reinhardt right now is just doing a lot of boom with the hammer and the shield, providing a lot of shielding to his support staff. Looking very nice. Lightman also getting a lot of armor packs onto the Doomfist as he tends to dive in. So as you watch the scene, he's getting a lot of support into their Doomfist.
Vazik from Dragon Ball swapping over to the double shield with the Orisa Reinhardt coming back in. Deadeye coming through from a Garros. Didn't quite find what he was looking for, but a couple kills. Lighting up here for OutCast. Gonna get the NYI coming up with a pair. Marvel finding himself one in the mix as well, and OutCast will hold on at this point, 55% and counting.
And what a fantastic healing orb thrown in there by Jeremiah Bryan. Man, that was huge to keep up Marvel Science because he almost went down in the middle of his little wombo combo that he does. Man, let me just put it out there. Light emitter right now is just booming on this Brigida, throwing the armor pack to initialize and really empower her DPS to do their job.
Explosive portals coming out from OutCast as BEsports hits the map. Bullhog being thrown in the mix as well. Civic Kill coming up with 2 kills with that ultimate. Marvel getting into the mix. NYI finding a pair, and with 88% and counting, I'm not even sure if BEsports can get back to touch here.
They swapped off the ball. Maybe the Lucio will be able to come back in touch, but I mean, you've got the stun ability to keep him off the point there. Also the, pin in. So we need to look at this. Yep, not even a chance to get it. That is dominating performance there, Bullskunk, from the number 8 seed here.
NYI with the heads-up pin, just as you were talking about, not allowing the Reinhardt to get his toe onto that objective, get that overtime wick started. So the 8th seed with the 1-0 lead as we head into Mecha Base. And so far setting the pace of this, like we always talk about, Billy. If you're the team that's forcing the swaps, forcing the other team to play the metagame around you, you're in the driver's seat. And that's exactly where OutCasts sit right now, in control of this setup so far.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Brawly comp that they brought out was absolutely what was required. And now you look at Gyros going over to the Ashe to get a little bit more poke damage and have some of those sight lines from the top side here in Mecha Base. Marvel Science just go ahead sticking with this Doomfist that he had a very good performance on. Never even got Meteor Strike and just really did a bang-up job of it.
Bezo and Dangle had swapped over to the Doom Reaper late in that last round of Sanctuary. Going to stick with that coming into Mecha Base. Early kills coming through from both sides, but esports losing their Moira, so primary source of healing gone. Though esports does find the kill onto Light Matter. Like I said, it had such a big impact on that Brig. Without the Brig available, OutCast might struggle here a bit with that Marvel and NYI going down, but answering right back. Civic Kill on this Roadhog, finding himself a pair before getting yanked off the side there by Vazik. And it's dwindled down to a 2v3 here on the objective. BEsports with a one-man advantage. As the reinforcements start to return to battle, BEsports pick up control.
Yeah, I mean, that is good brawly Overwatch there, but Garros does get a long-range strike onto Dragon Ball, takes him down, goes, finding his range. This is the player that they told him to look for. Light Emitter, the captain of OutCast, said, watch out for Garros on the DPS role because he will click heads.
That's exactly what he did there. Garros contributing to 4 big picks, opening up early before the rest of the team even got on there. He had 3 kills down. He had, little help with the Orisa, but otherwise, that was all Garros.
Yeah, I mean, finding heads very early in this match, and being able to kind of stymie the pressure that is being shown by this BEsports team. Man, you've got to look at it. Laser beams, Kamehameha on the point here, Bullskunk.
Yeah, Blackstone able to take down Gareth before he could get Bob on the point. And now BEsports with a chance here to flip this thing, using that coalescence to get some positioning. But they might have gotten themselves in a bit of a tough spot as OutCasts just surround them, and now they're closing the grip. Earthshatter coming through. That's going to lay out drop dead. Reaper still on this objective, but it's just him with the Moira. Whole hog thrown out from OutCast. It's going to clean up both of those. Find the Sigma in the end. Flip the point as OutCast take control.
What a fantastic hook there coming from Civic Hill. You know, he got rocked by the Sigma, and he just got up and hooked it and said, you know what, F you, I'm done with you. You're going to go ahead and go back to spawn. That was a very clean fight also coming from them. You know, they saved the rally from Light Emitter into that, so they have that to keep them up. The additional armor coming into this next fight is going to be crucial, as they're going to have to deal with not only a community effect, but also the Death Blossom and the Beat Drop.
BEsports rush out the low side. OutCast not quite ready for it, but they're going to throw a Bob out and plant their feet on the objective. Dragon Ball goes down. Man advantage here for OutCast on the objective. NYI is going to push in, find the kill onto Erasa, further increase that advantage. Drive BEsports right back out. They've got maybe one last shot at this thing, but they've got to get back in touch.
Yeah, not much time left to go at all in this, and we are looking at very much last fight territory. That is going to go ahead and be... Nope, looks like they did get the touch onto it. Bosniak does take down Civical on the main tank roll, so this is a scrappy fight. But yep, that is going to go ahead and call it 2-0 to the underdogs, as we've called them every single time that we've cast them here in the playoffs. Bullskunk, they're coming out with the chip on their shoulder and the wind at their sails. I mean, 2 wins coming into this match in the playoffs. They are playoff tested. They are playoff ready.
Yeah, I believe this will be that triple kill there. Yeah, to open up this fight here in Mecha Base. Fantastic shooting from Garros, just what OutCast need. And it's enabled them to take the early lead in this series. We're headed to Hybrid will be our next map. It will be BEsports' choice of the litter. Let's see, what are our options here? Hybrid, we got Kings Row, Hollywood, or Eichenwald to choose from. Where do you think we're going to go? I mean, I think Kings Row is the obvious choice. What would you like to see, Billy?
Yep, I think that we're going to go. I think we're going to go there, but I mean, it just depends on if that's what's expected of them. They're trying to do some kind of a funky pick here. So they're typing it in right now, and we'll find out here in just a second what they want to do.
Oh, I wanted to hear you guess and speculate, though, and then you know.
But you always make me do this. No.
I like putting you on the spot. It's fine.
Well, you know. Yeah, this is fun. By the way, they're going to Kings Row. Just so you know.
Big surprise. Big surprise. You just play it safe and you say Kings Row, and then you look like a genius, you know? It's...
yeah, I hate... I mean, 90% of the time they're going to go to Kings Row because that is just the quintessential map for Overwatch. I mean... You've got to expect it coming in, and looks like that we are going to swap sides here, as the OutCasts have decided that they are going to defend first. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that taken care of, while we speculate what we're going to see here coming up from both the teams. Man, that was a very impressive first map from the OutCast, as they just came out and just punched BEsports in the mouth.
Well, I mean, you know, we saw the Erasa hog there, a little Road hog, or a little Reinhardt hog as well, for that matter, from OutCast. I don't know if that's going to work going into Kings Row. It's a lot more linear. You're not going to have as many angles to play around, to find the angles for those hooks, to get the value out of that Road hog. So I suspect we'll probably see some more traditional double shield. Though, once again, I mean, we're just speculating at this point. I mean, these teams might have set plans that are completely off meta, try to catch their opponents and ourselves off guard.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the DPS from OutCast really outshined what BEsports was doing too, because I didn't see them come up very much in the kill feed. I mean, there was some really good negating plays by BEsports, but really the aggression wasn't there. OutCast was really the aggressor during both of those maps there. They put their flag on the point, they captured the point, and then they went out and met the aggression that BEsports was trying to bring in. They covered the flanks very beautifully too. Like, there was never a time that they got flanked. They always had somebody eyeing and spying on those flanks. So, Garros really showing up with the Viper and then using the coach gun to get himself out of trouble. So, I mean, just a very dynamic DPS duo coming in from OutCast right now.
I'm hoping to see a little bit more in the hero pool from Dangle and Bezo. The Reaper struggling to find value there on Busan, couldn't quite cover the distance, close that gap needed to get those double shotguns into effective range. And I think, could see similar struggles if they try to stubbornly stick with that Doomfist Reaper composition on the side of esports. So I'm hoping to see a little bit more versatility, perhaps work with some more range, but we'll see what they have in store. A Lucio Rushdown comp could have a little bit more success here.
Yeah, I mean, they were using the Lucio on Sanctuary. I don't think they had him in there on the mecha base. The speed was what kind of helped them get a little bit of a push and give.
Yeah.
Being able to speed in and speed out when the aggression got too much. But I mean, I think that the DPS just won the day for OutCast there. So they're gonna have to deal with OutCast. That is, they're gonna have to deal with Garros and Marvel on these two DPS right now, because this tank line is absolutely holding court over BEsports. Dragon Ball did get that good gravitic flux in there and actually really whittled them down low, but there's no follow-up to it. So that's what you got to look for. I'm going to go ahead and send us into Kings Row now. And we'll see, if the defense choice by OutCast was the proper play. Because we've seen a lot that the team that comes out and wins first, I think it's like probably around 80% for me and you, the games that we've casted. The team that wins the first map on Control, they want to attack. They want to set the time up. They want to kind of intimidate. They want to keep the foot on the pedal. And this is kind of a departure from what we've seen here in the playoffs, at least.
Well, and it tells me that OutCasts are very confident in their defense. I mean, it seems kind of simple, but I can't help but feel like whether the team chooses to attack or defend first really just shows where they have more confidence on either side of the battlefield.
Right. I mean, looking at how they held not only Sanctuary, the point, once they captured the point on Sanctuary, it went 100-0 there. And then, after the one flip that BEsports was able to do, they never relinquished control of it again. So, I mean, their defensive skills, even in aggression, are pretty darn good.
Once again, we're getting this unusual composition coming out from OutCast as they're pulling up the Reinhardt Roadhog with Ash and Junkrat to put the hurt down. We're going to have Ana and Mercy to keep the team alive and standing. Getting Bezo on the Reaper with May here for the attacking team. Double shield compositions. They're going to try to rush down this Roadhog, who's caught a little bit out of position. You can see the tank line of OutCast are up very far. That enabled the Maywall to divide them off from their support line. Made for easy pickings here for BEsports. They're just going to roll over point A.
Yeah, this is a very fast take from them. I mean, there may be a chance to kind of recontest, but I mean, they may just go ahead and surrender the point here. And that's going to make a massive 5-minute 45-second time bank within to start the Streets phase. Now, I mean, Plaxico's already got the Coalescence online for the offense. Nothing doing other than a 80% shatter for Nyanyi. So this is going to be very tough for them. They're going to have dry defenses going into this Coalescence. That's a huge anti coming in from Light Emitter, though, Bullskunk.
Yeah, and Marvel able to build up that tire. This could be just the one they're looking for, but no! The shielding is there. Tire's detonated just a little bit too early. Even still, the attacking team losing their Reaper, losing their Reinhardt. Nineye's got to push forward and hammers down the Lucio, and a good hole coming through, but a late hole hog coming out of Civic Kill. Not sure that was necessary.
Fat finger. I mean, I know myself, this PS4 controller, I have very fat thumbs, and it could very absolutely happen that I press the triangle button with my gigantic sausage thumb. So,
We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. We'll go with that.
We will go with that for sure. But I mean, now you've got Blizzard on the field. You know, you can absolutely annihilate this team right now using that.
Good pickup on the Bezo. He was 95% to that Death Blossom. Nano boost going on to 99. He just gets aggressive, finds himself a pair of kills. Huge anti thrown into the mix. Valiant effort from May on the attacking side, but it's not enough to push through. This defense looking strong here, planting their flag at Bookstore.
Yep, that is a minute and a half off the time bank right now, and kind of a little bit of a stymie here in the choke next to Bookstore. I mean, they could actually, you know, really full hold here as best as they can. That's a huge choke coming from Civic Hill.
Yeah, good start for the defense. Marvel already 85% towards another tire. Still have that Death Blossom online, as well as the Earth Shatter and the Supercharger from the attacking team. But with that early pick onto the Orisa, just give me a quick reset coming from BEsports here.
Yeah, but you almost got you've got a 5-pack online right now. You've got to think that beat drop and maybe Death Blossom to encourage and keep the health up will be what's required. But they're going to go ahead and invest in Coalescence first.
Supercharger out early as well. 3 kills on the back of those 2 ultimates. Doesn't look like they're going to need to invest a whole lot more than that. Good discipline coming from BEsports, not over investing into that fight, winning it with just the 2 ults.
What a sleep dart coming in from Light Emitter around the corner. Bosvik did not even see it coming. Another big anti-nade coming in onto Bazor. Bezo is going to be available to drop this Death Blossom at his whim. Civic Hill in the back line just creating all kinds of havoc, pushing people left and right.
Yeah, working this flank angle, but unfortunately on the front line, the Reinhardt and the rest of his team just getting decimated. Tornado warning coming out. Bezo throwing everybody back into spawn. 2 points on the board here for BEsports, and quite a healthy time bank to boot.
Yeah, and once again, you know, they threw out they just threw out 1 ultimate. They didn't even invest the shatter into that. Just the Death Blossom was all that was required into that fight. But now you've got a 5-pack, almost a full 6-pack of ultimates here to start the defense. Let's see what kind of ultimate discipline that the OutCasts have.
Yeah, they've been baking it for a while. They're going to drop 3 ults right out of the gate. Make that 4, 5 ults used all simultaneously. And they do get the fight win, but holy cow, was that an expensive fight win?
That's a head scratcher to me, because you had the fight one on the whole hog alone, and then throwing in the shatter, and then throwing in the tire, and you nanoed the Rhine. Yeah, that was an overbid of pressing the triangle button there from the OutCast, and that's going to hurt them here in this next team fight.
Yeah, now they have nothing to counter the Blizzard that's coming out. Maywall to keep the retreat from happening. They're going to freeze up 3. The Rhine and the Roadhog go down immediately. No more front line, no more sustain here for the defense. And BEsports looking to push this thing home. Just under 3 minutes on the clock. They still have Supercharger and Coalescence in their pocket, coming up on another Earth Shatter directly.
Yep, looks like stall characters coming out for the side from OutCast. That's a big pickup, though, taking out the Lucio in the beginning of this. No AoE healing so much for the side from BEsports, so that's going to be a big one there.
Yeah, good early pick on to Nine Eye as well. Death Blossom coming out just to close things out. Nine Eye is going to make it back onto the objective. Tire thrown in from Marvel finds 1. But with just these 2 last members to dwindle down, BEsports still in a strong position. They're going to close it out here with 2:15 left in the time bank.
Yep, and that is all attributed to the massive triangle fest that just happened at the beginning of the point. They could have staggered those out so well and just kind of done the old rotations as, you know, use 1 or 2, go ahead and get the fight win. Use 1 or 2, get the fight win. Just keep recycling through the circuit of ultimates. They could have held that for at least 3.5 minutes, 4 minutes. They could have full held them there on point B. Or point C.
You posed the $1 million question when you said, well, let's look at OutCast discipline when they had that full bank of ultimates to work with, and it absolutely came down to a discipline or lack thereof, throwing all 5 ults unnecessarily in to win that one engagement, and it left them wide open there at the end.
Yeah, it was just a little sad to see. I mean, 0 discipline on their ultimates, if you want me to be completely blunt. I mean, that was just an overkill in the extreme. However, full credit to BEsports, weathering the storm. They did get team killed on it, but in the end, they kind of get to thumb their noses at OutCasts and say, hey, beat my 2-minute, 15-second time bank if you can.
Well, in Overwatch, it's not about how many fights you win. It's just about who wins the last fight. That's the only one that truly matters. And now, OutCast going on the attack to see if they can equalize. We're going to get double shield on the defense from BEsports with the Reaper May. We're going to get the Reinhardt Roadhog from OutCast on the offense, bringing out the double flying attack composition with Pharah and Echo taken to the skies.
I mean, this is just beautiful. I've wanted to see this for a while, and now I finally get to see it. Now to see what he's done with it. Also, Light Emitter is deciding to stay on this Baptiste, and that is going to really enable his team to kind of take a little more damage than normal.
Great shots coming from Garros to open things up. So much damage going down into that corner. It was a beautiful assault. They did a good job of baiting the aggression coming out from the defense. BEsports tried to push out and pursue him, but Garros was ready for him with rockets in hand.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, that was just absolutely huge coming out from them. Looking like I had a pause request in the chat, but they said never mind. So we're going to go ahead and continue on here. So yeah, I mean, that is a little bit faster than what BEsports did on their first point there. Now, what do we see coming through the Streets phase? Because there was a little bit of a stall coming from the OutCast here in the Streets phase, right around this bookstore. They kind of set their feet and took some time off the clock.
Civic Hill waiting inside the bookshop itself, was trying to get a clever hook in. Didn't quite find the flank he was looking for, and the rest of BEsports getting hyper-aggressive on the front line, just running right over Civic Hill and the rest of the tanks, finding the goods. Bezo coming up with a whole host of kills in that fight. Good Maywall there to deny the retreat at the end.
Yep, but you've got 3 ultimates coming into this next fight. You've got both DPS ultimates. I'm really wondering what Marvel Science is going to go duplicate here. You also got Barrage and Shatter, also Valkyrie available. So 4 ultimates ready to go. Plaxico's going to have to be very careful and very stringent with how they use this coalescence to keep their team up.
Yeah, be looking for the Sigma duplicate, but no, he's going to go for the Moira, find some little extra healing here. Supercharger come out from the defense, but does not look like it was enough to stave off the aggression. OutCast, they're going to find the kills and keep pressing on through the streets of London, barring a little bit of cleanup here on the objective.
Yeah, and it took forever to kill the Moira there. It's like they didn't see him or they didn't want to acknowledge that they were there. And, that could have been, a couple, 20, 30 extra meters as they come back in here. Now, for the defense, you have Bob available. You've also got Davidic Flux from Dragon Ball available. Plaxico did not end up investing that coalescence into that fight. So, yeah, good amount of discipline as we're talking about ultimate discipline. Are we going to see the Y match here again?
We're going to get Bob from the defense to start things off. Coalescence she used as well. Maywall to split the front line of the attackers from the back, and they do find the kill on a 9-eye, but the res is available. Reinhardt back into the battle. They do lose Civic Hill in the process, man advantage here for the defense. Another Maywall to try to divide off that Reinhardt, but left just enough room for the healers to keep him alive and standing, but not for long. The Coalescence, not even enough to keep the Reinhardt in the battle. Dragon Ball on this Sigma just laying down too much hurt with those Hyperspheres, and it's back to spawn with the OutCasts.
Yeah, and still, Gravitic Flux in hand. Plaxico Bullet does have this Coalescence still available. So, you're looking at a 4 ultimate benefit to the defenders. Barrage and Shatter online for the attackers, and, you gotta think. They're gonna have to pop something here soon. It's gonna have to be good.
Yeah, the Pharmacy was trying to work around for a flank, but it was not in time. The cold, icy hands of May freeze up the entire objective. Blizzard taking down the front line, and then they're able to deal with the Pharmacy with ease. This defense, they do not look to be faltering in the slightest.
Nope, and it looks like they're staggering themselves here a little bit. The side from OutCast. I mean, look at Ryan, where you're at right now in the Streets phase. They've still got 2 people coming behind them. The Pharmacy's still out there. Civic is still trying to be a flanking hog. And he really needs to be with his team.
He was actually out there, and they were fully aware on the side of BEsports. Supercharger Coalescence coming out. We are going to get the duplicate here from OutCast. They're going to go with the Sigma this time, but They lose their Reinhardt. The Coalescence from BEsports, too much for them to handle. Light Matter goes down. Civic Kill falls as well. And the rest of the team, well, they're going to go down like dominoes shortly thereafter.
Yep, and I mean, it's just you're not playing as a whole unit. You got to drop the pharmacy right now. It's not working. There's too much shielding going on. You need to pop the barrage and get onto somebody better. Because they are just owning the mid fights. Once the fight engages, it's all BEsports right now. As there's just so much damage, you can't keep 9-9 up with the Mercy just pocketing this Pharah.
And I can't help but feel like everybody's trying to take too many flank angles. Here we go. It looks like they're kind of all focusing from one side this time. Definitely what was needed, but the barrage not enough. Sigma right there with the air shield to defend against it. Plexico with the final kill, taking the Pharah out of the sky. Man advantage here for the defense. They're going to pursue that, get aggressive. Once again, Dragon Ball on this Sigma, being the difference maker, finding the kills, driving OutCasts all the way out of the streets.
Yep, 45 seconds left in the time bank as well. And I mean, look, now Garth is going to go over to the May. It's a little bit too late. I mean, unless he pops off in the extreme, you're not going to generate a blizzard that fast. It just seems almost impossible to get it in 30 seconds. You're on 9%.
Yeah, it was definitely, I think, good swaps, but I agree that they were just a bit late to try to build up the blizzard of the Death Blossom. We'll see if it's enough to help them in the mid-fight, see if they get this last point on the board. Dueling Coalescence to start off the fight as Nine is getting aggressive around this corner. He's got to be careful about the wall, and he seems to be aware, able to move over to the right side of it, find the healing from the Mora, stay in the fight, win the fight, and it looks like OutCast will live to fight another day with the overtime Wicca burning. They're going to go ahead and push this payload into point B.
But man, at what cost? Mainly their time banks, because I mean 130. That's all they get. So I mean they're already in deficit mode here, going into this next fight. I mean they're gonna have to get around the corner. You've got Blizzard available. You've got nothing to defend against that Blizzard. You can't. I mean Civico is gonna have to get the eat of his life here to keep his team up.
And does not get it at all. Both tanks frozen up. Garrow's frozen up as well. Civic Hill and Nine back into spawn you go. Garrow's not far behind. 60 seconds on the clock, and well, not much to work with here for the OutCasts.
I mean, you're going to get Gravitic Flux here. That's a certainty. You might get Valkyrie to kind of do some group healing and get some point pressure, but you're going into Supercharger and Sound Barrier, and that is a very filthy combo. Not to mention that Bezo is going to have Bob here any second.
We're going to get that Flux to start things off, but Sound Barrier right there. Not a whole lot of damage done from the Flux. Garrow stay alive long enough to get this Blizzard in play. That's the big question. As Bob and Supercharger are on the field here from the defense. 3 kills, lighting up the feed. Half the OutCasts already dead. What a great Bob coming from Bezos. And now there's just 15 seconds on the clock. Garrow did not get a chance to use that Blizzard.
Nope, and looks like a little spin the wind coming in from Civic Hill right now just to get to the point and trigger the overtime.
Oh, he gets barely able to stay on dry ground, gets the touch, initiates the overtime. Here comes the Blizzard into play, but already 2 casualties down for the attacking team. But a massive Death Blossom Marvel getting a great ultimate on the point, finds 3. Bezo trying to answer back, gets 2 kills of his own. And it's a 2v2 here on the objective. Civic Hill and Garrows finding those 2 crucial picks, and they're able to get this cart moving. Oh man, by the skin of their teeth, OutCasts, now they can smell the victory square at the back. Will they be able to get the cart in? Gravitic Flux coming out from the defense. It's going to slam Nine down onto the point. They've got a May on the objective. They've got to work past. But Bezo is going to take out their Lucio. They're already losing members left and right. It's a Blizzard. That is going to deny them the pressure. Tie game coming through with BEsports taking Kings Road.
And the reason why that happened is because they wasted 5 ults on their defense on point C. This would be a completely different match had they not all pressed Y and kind of BM BEsports. I think that pissed BEsports off. Not gonna lie, because they came out with a fury on their defense, and Street Phase was definitely won by BEsports here. So yeah, chip on the shoulder. So looking at that, looking at that, Bullskunk, Ult Discipline is what won that fight.
I agree, and it looks like the choice to defend first, well, it did not work out for OutCasts that time. We're going to take a quick break here, but we're all tied up at the half. We'll see you back here on our Assault map in just a few minutes. Y'all don't go anywhere. Welcome back, my friends, to the Console Overwatch multi-tier tournament. We are here with the PlayStation 4 matchup in the Tier 4 division. This semifinal matchup is all tied up here at the half between BEsports and the OutCasts. And, well, OutCasts have chosen Volskaya here for map number 3. Billy, they looked pretty stubborn on that Reinhardt Roadhog there in Kings Road. Didn't work out for them very well. Do you think they're going to change it up here as we head into Volskaya?
Yeah, actually, I think they are because they have swapped out Nyanai for KB Empire into what I assume is going to be the main tank role. He may be coming as an off tank, and then Civic Hill going over to the main tank role. But yeah, Nyanai is coming out. Maybe a little bit of Reinhardt fatigue there. I know I get it sometimes when I'm in the middle of my my matches when I go on a long streak with Reinhardt. So maybe the tank line up there is what was required. That's also the first map that they've lost in the playoffs.
Really? Ooh.
Yeah, that is the first map that the OutCasts have lost in the playoffs. So maybe they want to change it up a little bit. Maybe give BEsports a different look as they choose Volskaya, and it looks like that BEsports wants to go on the defense. So kind of using the mind games that OutCasts tried to play on them on Kings Row, trying to dish it back a little bit. So
yeah, both teams choosing to defend first. That's unusual.
I mean, it's fine with me. I love seeing the mind games, and maybe they're both relying on their defenses because seeing what BEsports just did to OutCast on the defense there. Yeah. Once again, it's ultimate discipline too. Too many pops of the triangle button from the OutCasts at the same time. They're not stacking their ultimates and getting the most benefit out of them. I think that's the biggest criticism that I've got right now. That and too much flanky from your off tank. You can't do that. You got to play with your team.
Well, it was kind of the whole team looked to be playing the flank. And there was nobody to hold down the front line, and it just meant they were getting run over, especially there on the back half of Streets phase. They really struggled to get around that final corner, and BEsports was just able to focus their attention on the cart and what few members of OutCasts were choosing to push cart, and then they just cleaned up the flank one at a time. Yeah,
and they stuck with the pharmacy way too long as well.
I think the entire composition was an uphill battle there for OutCasts. For me, again, it comes back to those tanks. The Orisa Sigma combo coming out of BEsports, they were dominating the tank lineup there on Kings Row. Dragon Ball on that Sigma was getting so much value. I'm going to be keeping an eye on the front line, see if KB Empire coming in to substitute the main tank role, see if that can be the difference maker to help win the front line war.
The other thing that, you talked about the shielding, you basically have a third shield on that maid wall, and Dangle was absolutely precise. Just laser focused on the walls. The blizzards were held until the very last moment that was required. Yeah. Also getting some, the icicle, taking the bar out of the sky 3 times during the aggression there. So the DPS woke up. I think they took their shot of espresso, and now they're ready to go. We're tied up. It's a clean slate.
I'm always so impressed at that. Like trying to take a far out of the sky with those May icicles, man. I'm always so impressed when the DPS players can pull that off. That's so difficult.
So yeah, I got them ready for both captains. So we're gonna go ahead and go into Volskaya now, with the OutCast being on the attack. And I want to see what the immediate impact of KB Empire is. What is he going to come in as? Is he going to come in as an off tank? Is he going to come in as a mobile tank? Because the mobility wasn't there. And if you're going to run, the Rhine Roadhog, you need to have a Lucio to kind of give that extra little bit of oomph and that little bit of extra speed to get those big lumbering giants to where they need to be.
Well, and they seem to be also missing any big burst support. You had the Mora Mercy, which provide a lot of heal over time, and you have the resurrect there to help get that, seventh man back in the battle, so to speak. But they didn't have the burst healing or any way to defend against large burst ultimates, namely an immortality field, sound barrier, something that could really put up a lot of shielding quickly.
And it looks like, gotta have a pause here. Gotta pause. I've got a DC. Uh-oh.
Yep, no worries.
My pause is apparently not found, even though I did find it. Ah, crap.
Go fix that real quick.
Well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go ahead and send it back to the lobby. That's just, yeah.
Yeah, that's, the lobby. Yep.
I did have it. Oops. I did.
Anyway, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. I mean, we can continue with our analysis here. I mean, the biggest thing is that I really got to see more positive movement from the burst healing in particular. Even the Inspire healing coming from Vegeta is better than Ana Mercy all day long. I mean, that nade, if you're solely using it to anti the opposing team, then that's not good. That's not what it's for. You got to heal your team too. You can't single target heal with an Ana the same way you can with a Lucio, getting a group of people. Especially when you're dealing with dynamite. Especially when you're dealing with the dynamite that's coming in. I get mad at these things. I get mad when people don't listen.
We'll see what adjustments OutCasts make. I think compositional adjustments were needed all the way around. So, curious to see what they come out with here. I don't expect much change coming out of BEsports. The double shield, they looked really good on that composition. It was working well for them. I wouldn't expect a whole lot of adjustments there. Like you're talking about, Dangle on the Mei looking very strong. So that was fairly good composition for this meta. I haven't quite seen any of the Ashe Echo yet, the most popular DPS combo right now. But nothing wrong with the Mei DPS lineup.
I mean, correct. I mean, that's one of the biggest things that I'm just looking at right now is, is the DPS going to stay the same for BEsports? And, will it be able to focus what's coming in from the DPS from OutCasts? Because they changed up so much from what you saw in Busan, and then going into Kings Row, it was a completely different DPS lineup. Like, there was no consistency there. And I really, I'm missing the Doomfist. I think the Doomfist could have gotten a lot of value there in Kings Row. Kind of pushing back, making the front line honest, especially with all the flanking that was going on. If you keep the front line honest, you can get those flanks. But I mean, if everybody's trying to be a flank hero, then nothing's going to happen.
Well, and the objective of that flank is to try to catch them off guard. And if there's no front line for the defense to look at, if you're coming from the attacker's point of view, like I'm thinking, on second point Kings Row there, then the flank is just kind of null and void. Then you just end up with a scattered attack without a whole lot of focus. So that OutCast definitely seemed to fall into that trap on Kings Row. They need to pull their focus fire together for a flank to ever work in the first place.
Right. Okay. Looks like they're still loading into the screen here. I hope somebody has the, yeah, I've got the timer going here as we speak.
Yeah, we do have, a 7-minute rule on DCs?
Mm-hmm. Here in the, I believe it's play 5v6. It's the team that has the full team on. It's their choice whether to forfeit or play 5v6.
Right. Well, looks like Drop Dead is back in here if we want to.
Yep. All right.
Take 2 here on Volskaya.
We're going to take 2 here. His dog pulled his cord out.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
Oh, no, Poplin.
No, my ball of fluff is trying to demand my attention here. She wants to get it on the cast here, Billy. She wants to pipe in, give her 2 cents. It would just be scoffs. That's just how she communicates.
That's
just all scoffs.
Very well. So that being said, getting back to the analysis now that we've figured out what's going on here, I'm going to go ahead and test it again, just making sure that it is in fact ready to go. Yeah, so I'm really interested to see, will KB Empire have an immediate impact upon the match, and will the DPS show up again? Garros was getting individually was fragging out, but this is not an individual sport. This is a team sport, and if you can't coordinate your frags as a team, you're going to lose every single fight.
Well, defense showed us the double shield with the Reinhardt Orisa here. Tango going back over to the Mei. Bezo going over to the Ashe here as BEsports takes to the defense. They're going to use Moira and Lucio in the heals department. We are going to get some double shield looking like from OutCasts on the offense. Civickill taking up the mantle of main tank, coming out with the Orisa.
Yeah, I'm liking this. I'm very interested to see how KB shows up. How good is his Sigma? Because, I mean, obviously new onto the battlefield. Nice little rotation here, though. They kind of feigned the left-hand swipe. They're going to the right now.
Garros finds first blood with a wonderful headshot out of the window, taking down Bezo, opening things up, and now OutCasts just free to focus their attention down on that front line, but they lose their main tank. Res is available for OutCasts, so Bezo back in, or Civickill back in the battle. OutCasts back in a full 6-man. Strengthers are looking to push in. Maywall trying to deny the healing on the Civickill. Somehow he's able to survive. Great play coming from Light Matter and the Mercy, respectively. Dangle does eventually get the kill onto that Doomfist, but here comes a big Earth Shatter. That went down early. Dragon Ball building that up with a quickness. I don't think it's going to be enough for them to stabilize, though, as OutCasts, well, they're getting control at this point, finding some ownership, and they're going to have a good time on the board.
Now, Bullskunk, immediate impact from, whoa, what is wrong with my camera? Immediate impact coming from the side from OutCast Esports, as they are showing up and showing out KB Empire. Very quick impacts coming from him on the Sigma. Almost has Gravitic Flux already. Garros is going to go ahead and pop sights to show where they're at. This is going to be huge for KB Empire if he can get this Gravitic Flux off in the next 8%, as he's going to be able to swarm everybody as they're all just clumped together, huddled together like puppies for warmth.
Game for sights very good for Marvel Sciencer as well, as he's looking for that angle to come in. Dangle throwing up Blizzard early. They're trying to stave off the aggression. Coalescence coming in from the defense as well. And quickly, the kill feed lighten up for BEsports, and they're going to stave off this snowball. Not happening this time, Billy.
Not only that, they're pushing way out there to get confirm some late stagger kills. So Jeremiah Bryan being the last one to fall there. But the big thing for me there is that nobody other than Jeremiah Bryan on the Valkyrie, I mean, that's a throwaway ult anyways, did not waste their ultimates in that. They held onto it through the Blizzard, through the aggression that was being shown there. So they're going to have a very nice push here if they stack their ultimates right this time.
Gravitic Flux coming out early. Wow, that's going to be a big one. F down 4, I believe. Oh, with the smash right on top of it. The Meteor Strike landing right on the member of BEsports. They're all half health. Nothing they can do to escape the lift and smash coming out from OutCast. Wow, that was a wicked fast time.
That's the Noombani Jam, by the way. We're going to go ahead and call it Noombani Jam.
The Noombani Jam, okay.
That was filthy. That's stank face. That's stank face worthy right there. They stacked their ultimates right. Gravitic Flux into a Meteor Strike, and then go ahead and putting the Supercharger down there for extra added benefit. You're not living through that. I mean, there's I don't care how much resources and sound barriers you have, immortality field, that would have been the only thing that would have really kept them up there, and they didn't have that available. So, I mean, great play, great combination of ultimates there. So, that is the time that they have set here on their attack, and BEsports is going to have a very difficult time here trying to match that time, as it looks like, Marvel and Garros are showing us some very interesting defensive picks here. KB Empire, though, showing up big for his team when they need him the most here in the semifinals. Great little Sigma play from him.
Yeah, looking very strong. Obviously, that flux was huge. Instrumental part of that very quick take of point B. And now on the defense, we're getting the Bastion and the Junkrat coming out respectively from OutCasts, and they're going to pick up the high ground here. Just hold back. As long as they can just eat time off the clock, it's a victory here for the defense. Looks like we're getting a little traditional dive coming out of the attack with the Sombra Tracer in the DPS role.
That is going to be very interesting to aggress into this double shield Bastion comp. Oh my goodness.
If they could find a way to surround them, it could work. As Bozic is just getting positioned down low out of the LOS, but Garros, he's going to find the Sombra instead. Winston cannot survive. That's a quick two-man deficit here for the attacking team, and back to the drawing board goes BEsports.
Yeah, I mean, you run Winston into a Bastion. Bastion will win every single time. He's got two at his sights there. They're using the little forklift truck there to kind of keep them out of their way, and that is great stuff, to get out of there. Sombra in the back line, though. Going to see, the hack will be probably the most pivotal thing that he can do, or they can do onto the Bastion to kind of get him out of that turret form.
Yeah, but Dangle's got to find some room to work. Right now, the lowest percentage on ult charge in the entire server, which means just got nothing done on their first attack. And like you say, Winston just no match for that Gatling gun. Bozic goes down early here in BEsports' second fight, dropped in Frontier, falling as well. Do force a rotation out of OutCast, but now they don't have the reinforcements to do anything with it, and it's another reset coming through from the attackers.
Yeah, and I'm more in favor of the left-hand perch, bird's nest, whatever you want to call it up here. I like this better because you have a better sight line down onto the right side. Also catching any aggression that comes to you from a left-handed move from them. The only thing that they're really gonna have to worry about is Dangle on the Sombra, because if they get a hack onto the Bastion, it's pretty much game over for a little while that hack takes place. But the rotation, the eye level right now is being split into two. This is actually really good stuff for BEsports, that they can actually get the aggression right and get their cooldown settled the right way.
They did get the hack onto the Bastion, and it was a scary moment for the defense there. Primal Rage coming out from Bozic with a beautiful self-destruct. Holy cow, that's going to find two very important kills. Most notably, the Mercy, no more res available. They do still have to deal with that Bastion, but since he was the last of two surviving members of the defense, it didn't take long. And finally, BEsports, well, they're going to pick up point A.
Yep, and I mean, that was just a very coordinated attack. The hack onto Garros there, and then they all decided that that was the time to press the supercharger. He actually got that kill against a supercharged Orisa. That was in Fortified. That is some serious damage coming in from Bodzic on the Winston. Nice play from him.
Now Civic Kill swapping over to a Roadhog. I'm not a big fan of this swap. The Sigma as a solo shield is just not enough shielding to protect this Bastion. Dangle with the EMP online has three members of the defense on the high ground in his sights. Oh, wow. Just tiptoeing around the hooks coming out from Civic Kill. That was a good heads-up play from Dangle. All right, now decides it's time to go. There goes the EMP, three-man EMP. But Tank Figure and coming out from Garros just in time. Riptire thrown into the mix as well. And they're going to find a pair of kills each with that. Garros follows it up with a nice shot onto the Diva. And despite the EMP, the defense will hold on here. Just over 3 minutes on the clock.
I mean, you got a little bit of value out of it, but actually they went ahead and pressed triangle. Garros did to get that tank configuration out there. Also, the immortality barrier from light emitter was huge in keeping him up there. Still, once again, ultimate discipline. I'm going to keep harping on it until they get it right. They didn't need to invest that tire, especially since they were standing basically neck to neck to each other. I mean, I don't understand why you would launch the tire into that when you've got tank configuration out there. That's doing a ton of damage by itself.
Good entry pick as Bozic goes down early. Marvel now looking to put some attention onto the high ground, see if he can clean up some of the supports that are sitting up there. Meanwhile, still with the Somber Tracer composition, the DPS trying to put pressure down low, but they're losing their healers off of that high ground. Marvel able to work those mines up there, and without that positioning, well, there's nothing to keep those two DPS in the fight.
Nope, no indeed, and I mean, getting so close right now to another self-destruct for Dragon Ball, and oh, that's a fat finger from me. Good God. It decided to work this time, yeah. Coalescence was invested, or Transcendence was invested, and now they've been swapped over to the Moira.
I was wondering why they popped Trans right there. I mean, it wasn't needed, but yeah, it was a character swap coming through. I mean, okay, you know, a little bit more Bolt Burst here, Ling. We are going to get Dangle and Bezo swapping off of the Tracer Sombra, respectively, going over to the Reaper May.
Yep, Tyre online for Marvel, though. That's going to be a big nullifier here for them. Here comes the whole hog out from, oh my goodness.
And a two-man Tyre to boot. Marvel dropping it right on Bozic and Dangle's heads, respectively. A little damage boost added onto that Tyre for good measure. And this defense, well, they are a bulwark right now. Nothing getting past this wall. And there's only 75 seconds left on the clock.
Yep, and nothing really in the bank other than you're kind of close on Coalescence for the attacker sides from BEsports. Bob, Ant Matrix, and Valkyrie to keep the defenders in this match right now. As we're tied 1-1. 50 seconds left in the time bank. It's go time for BEsports.
And not a whole lot of ultimate to work with. That Coalescence, only thing that they can rest their heels on as they try to push into a 7v6 as the big old Butler is out there putting so much damage down. Garros doesn't even need the help of his Butler friend, finding two with the Viper himself before Bob getting into the mix. And this defense, they're going to drive him back once again with just under 30 seconds left.
Yeah, I mean, that was just filthy from Garros. I mean, first on the Bastion, now on the Young Southern Bale. And still, they have their support alternates. So,
whoa!
Wow.
Just picking them apart before BEsports can even get across the courtyard. The Ant Matrix using that, and Garros taking full advantage. Now he's got to follow it up with another one. Takes out Dragon Ball. That's a 3-kill there for Garros on his final fight. Half the team wiped out before they can even get into touch. Blacksco finds 3 on the Moira, but it's not going to be enough, and this will be OutCasts taking a 2-1 lead in the series.
That was absolute filth.
Oh, that was disgusting.
Wait, ready, snake face?
Yeah, I'm hoping that's playing the game. I'm hoping we get to see that again. No!
No.
It was KB Empire. I agree with what you were saying, though. Big impact coming from this swap. As Empire on the Sigma. Big reason OutCasts were able to take this lead. Yeah, this was the big wombo combo of the lift and smash.
It's a new body jam.
Good plays coming from OutCasts all around.
Oh my goodness, that was just absolute filth coming from them. But I mean, once again, immediate impact coming from them, swapping in this off-tank player, and man, I mean, 2-1 to the underdogs right now. We're going to go ahead and go to Route 66, by the way. They've already made their decision, have BEsports. Let me find out.
A team that knows what they want.
Yep, they know where they want to go. I'm going to find out where Light Emitter wants to attack or defend.
And the question now is, do OutCasts choose to attack or defend? That is the question. I know you're waiting on Light Emitter to let you know, but so far the attacking team is winning every time, and the teams are choosing to defend every time. So this little bit of strategy behind the team's thought process, it intrigues me, Billy.
It does, and you know, it looks like we've lost Mr. Drop Dead again. So, yikes! We've also lost the other DPS from OutCast. So let's find out what's going on there.
They're dropping like flies, Billy.
There's Drop Dead back.
Drop Dead, leave it up to his namesake. Keeps well dropping dead.
We're putting in Nyai.
Yeah, the interesting compositions coming from OutCasts there, and well, seeming to work, but surprisingly enough, you know, you don't see Roadhog Sigma used very effectively very often.
Right.
But it worked for him there.
Well, Civic is going to go ahead and go to the DPS slot now. KB 9 Tank, KB same heals. Okay. Yeah. So.
Okay.
I've now got to swap sides as OutCasts have decided they want to go on the defense.
Does this mean we're going to a map 5, Billy? Because our attackers have won every time here so far.
Yeah, I mean, you think they would catch on to the trend? It's trending. So, I mean, Route 66, looking at the site, I mean, looking at what we're going to be coming into here on defense, Garros has shown that he is very skilled with the young Southern Bale.
Yeah, he's got a fantastic Ash, no doubt. I would be shocked to see him on anything else here, as this is a perfect map to bring out that character. You got that extra mobility, can fully utilize the high ground, make use of that range. This is a perfect Ash map.
Okay, I've got the lobby ready. Light emitter is ready to go right now.
Hey, you know, our teams are anxious to get into the action. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm anxious to get in the action too, Billy.
I am too. I mean, I'm always ready to get into this. So, without further ado or yakking from us, let us get into Route 66 as they are chomping at the bit to get there. As you said, attackers have won every single map, I mean, other than Control. But, I mean, both in Volskaya and in Kings Road, the team that chose to defend, and their attack won it. So, we'll see. We'll see.
Well, OutCast starting us off on the defense here on match point. A win here on Route 66 would punch their tickets into the finals here in the Tier 4 division. Looking to close it out now. Of course, BEsports don't want to let that happen. They want to send us to that tiebreaker round. And they're showing us some dive here to start it off, but the attackers do still have 30 seconds to change their mind. So let's talk about OutCast on the defense here.
I mean, looking at what they're bringing out right now, double shield, perfect. Surprised to see 99 going on to the Sigma, but I mean, maybe it's a comfort pick for him. Because what KB Empire just showed us on the Sigma, yeah, that was pretty dominant from him. So if it's a comfort pick, or if 99 is actually the better Sigma, I'm scared. But I mean, I'm liking the healing core. The res was actually very versatile and well judged from Jeremiah in that. Civic Hill going on to the DPS, though, I'm actually really happy to see him playing a bit of a spam damage and, you know, being able to poke at range. They're going to deny this corner pretty hard.
We are going to get the dive composition from BEsports on the offense. Going back over to the Tracer Sombra as they escort the cart around the first bend. The defense waiting for him on top of Big Earls. Dangle just sitting in the background. He's got him scouted out. I think they're just trying to decide on the best target. Badzix goes down early, makes his leap up to the top of Big Earls, and is just met with all kinds of death and destruction. Falls immediately. Lightmiter able to find that kill onto the Tracer as well, as this dive gets shut down here at the base of Big Earls.
Yeah, I mean, and the fact that they are using the Mercy here means it's a 7v6. I mean, there's no other way to put it. Just like when you get Bob on the field at 7v6 there. You're 7v6 as long as the Mercy is up and available to res. These singular kills really aren't going to do much to bother the defense from the OutCast. And this is a great spot here, but I mean, look at the boldness from from Dangle, but gets deleted by Garros. You've got to be a lot more savvy and sneaky and brave.
Yeah, 99 and Lightmeister right there ready for him. Yeah, Garros putting the shots in from across the way here. As the voice of God speaking of. Dangle is 61% towards that EMP. I think that's going to be the one to break this thing open here. But the attackers have to worry about, well, that Riptire for one as that finds two. We're going to get the D-Mac coming through from Civic Kill as well. And half of BEsports already back in spawn before they can even really get this attack going. Bodzik, really just nothing to work with. Red's going to come through there onto Lightbitter.
Yeah, and that was an ugly death from Bodzik as he went ahead and just face planted into the side of the cliff after getting taken down by KB. That's an ugly way to die. But I mean, you know, pulse bomb into the EMP could be very problematic for the OutCasts. They really don't have much to defend against. I mean, you're gonna have to kind of bait it out. Also, Transcendence available online too.
5-man EMP to start this off. Lightmitter goes down with the Ant Matrix in his pocket. Valkyrie used from Jeremiah to try to save the rest of the team, but nothing doing. As half of the defense already back in spawn. Dangle with a good kill onto Jeremiah just to seal the deal. And BEsports, they'll be able to pick this point up, barring a little bit of cleanup on the back of the objective.
Yep, and Nyai deciding that getting out of there is the absolute right thing to do, and I second the call here from the off-tank for OutCasts. I mean, they still took a lot of time off the time bank for BEsports, and that's going to absolutely negatively affect them going through the streets phase. Because I mean, you know, you've already popped your win condition. Getting that EMP out onto so many people, yeah, it worked, but man.
Civico making the swap off the Junkrat, going to the Reaper and catches Bodzik off guard. As he was waiting for him down on the Mega, Bodzik just unknowingly walks right into those double shotguns. Early advantage for the defense. And now, well, the BEsports, they're kind of on hold here until they get their main tank back into battle.
Yeah, and I mean, look at the Trace for Sombra in the back line. You know, really focus fire from Garros. Also a nice accretion coming in from Nyai. He's just sitting on this Gravitic Flux, and when he does let it go, as he does now.
Yeah, Flux coming out. Transcendence is there. Rally pop from the attackers as well. Not a whole lot of damage from that. Self-destruct tossed in from the attacking team. Primal Rage thrown in. They're going to find a pair of kills each on the back of those ultimates. Garros now the next target, trying to escape the damage, but here comes the A-grade monkey, lands right on Garros' head. And BEsports, they're going to continue escorting this payload through the streets phase. But definitely time for another fight here in the back.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, the EMP is coming up on so very close. You know, we're on 80%. Also, Pulse Bomb available. I think that's going to be used just to negate the supercharger that KB Emperor hires. That's kind of what Bezo has done with this in the last times. As again, you know, taking out the immortality field this time. He's just using it to negate the sustain from OutCasts.
Flaxco taking Civic Kill out of Death Blossom there. Big play coming out of the Zenyatta from BEsports. Amplification Matrix used here from OutCast to try to strike back. But the high mobility of BEsports, they're able to just duck out of that LOS, and they're going to respond back with a big 4-man EMP. OutCast were able to get that immortality field onto the board, and Bezo goes down. Flaxico fallen as well. Valkyrie used from Jeremiah and put that little extra little pep in the step of the defense, and they're able to hold on here with just 60 seconds on the clock.
That was a filthy halt coming in from KB Empire and pulling them back into the damage of Nyai. And man, he's almost got another Gravitic Flux online. That was a huge immortality field from Light Emitter as well, getting out of the EMP's effect and keeping his team up.
Yeah, that was clutch. Without that immortality, they for sure would have lost at least 2, I'd say, on for the defense here. OutCast, I'm not sure they would have been able to recover, but due to Lightmitter's heads up play, they stay in the fight. The Valk there keep them topped off, and they win that engagement on the back of it. Now Civic Kill swapped over to the McCree after losing that Death Blossom. Both tank ults, both support ults online for BEsports as they're looking to try to close this thing out. Last opportunity here on Point B for them to do so. Pulse Bomb coming in. They're going to take out Garros. Nice headshots, able to pick off the Orisa as well. Bodzik with the Primal Rage takes Civic out of the fight with the overtime Wicca burning. We will get 2 points on the board here for BEsports.
Bit unlucky, but it's still a very smart hold of the Gravitic Flux from Nyai. I thought he was going to pop it at the beginning of the fight. He even had a chance in the mid-fight when they just went down 1. But I think that they thought that too many ultimates was probably invested in that. It was already a lost fight. So holding on to Gravitic Flux you can actually pause the ingress here from BEsports and really lay it to them.
Yeah, they're going to throw the Halt Flux out. The Orisa able to fortify out of it as there was a full compositional swap from the attacking team, and that Reaper making his presence known early, finding a pair of kills right out of the gate. Civic got rezzed up and dropped to his Deadeye, answering right back. Both tanks down for BEsports, and it's going to be a trip right back to spawn without their sustain. There's no more attack.
Oh, what a nasty stagger kill from Civic onto the Dangle. Man, that was very not nice from him. Looking at ultimates coming into this next fight, superchargers to put the damage down. We'll be able to really stop the aggression if they play it right. If they get sectioned off from his supercharger, going to go down early in this fight. That is not what you need to see here.
Very aggressive placement on this supercharger, on this hold in general. It does eventually pay off. The OutCasts are finding the kills here. Time's going to dwindle down. And they just caught BEsports flat-footed here right outside their spawn, putting up a good hold on point C.
And the placement of the supercharger was suspect in the extreme. There was no, trying to tuck it behind a wall or something and
right.
making it not be able to be destroyed. But they never got a chance to get near the supercharger to destroy it. Even with the May wall sectioning off KB there, he was able to get around the wall, get back to his team. He did drop, but the res was there. Once again, that mercy play from Jeremiah is absolutely huge. Getting those reses out of nowhere. And, the fire was coming in fast and furious, and he still got the res off, and that was what really won them. And they never got the supercharger down. And, that's what all she wrote there. Flat-footed, indeed. Also, and when they went to the full compositional shift, Plaxico actually had Transcendence ready to go and swapped off to the Moira, and they lost that benefit and never got the Coalescence up.
You can't help but wonder if that Transcendence might have been more useful.
He was clicking heads too, Bullskunk.
A lovely day for
he was getting some master kills, so kind of a head scratcher, but maybe it was just a planned decision from them to go ahead and swap to that to a third point offense there.
Well, sticking with the Moira Lucio going on to the defense here, BEsports with the double shield May Reaper and taking this a very aggressive posture here in the 45 boxcar. A little McCree Widowmaker coming out from the attacking team as the Blink Spree assault from down, but picked up beautifully by OutCasts. They are not caught flat-footed at all. They are prepped and ready, and they catch that aggression magnificently, sending BEsports right back to spawn.
Oh my goodness, that was absolutely brilliantly played, and they had no clue that they were there. They just flicked around and caught it, got the shielding down. The kinetic grasp from Nyanai there negated so much damage. His armor went up through the roof there. Big plays for them, and so now going into this, ultimate charges. Ooh, Phasor.
The Civic kill caught it in a bit of a rough spot. Jeremiah goes down as well. 2 quick kills for the defense as they come in and retake the objective. That's going to prompt an immediate reset here from the OutCasts. But they did a good job of building up their ultimates. That beautiful first fight still put them in a strong position here.
Yeah, they've already got around the corner here, but the aggression that they're going to be showing here. Also, 2 notes. They brought Lucio into the mix. So there's going to be speed with these big... Oh my goodness! What a rock there! Holy crap!
And now BEsports caught in this tiny little cave. The Gravitic Flux right on top of all of them. Both the Reaper and the Lucio go down. Tanks, there's just nowhere for them to run as they are stuck. And OutCasts, well, they oblige them with a quick trip back to spawn. They're no longer stuck. And neither is this payload as it's pushing into the back of point A.
Yeah, you never want to get caught in that small little room with a Gravitic Flux online. The rock and the splash bang stun stick in that, just so you are aware. That's why I got my little squeaky happy noises going on there.
Civic Kill finds an entry frag into point B as they take down the Lucio. Bezo on his Reaper, 97% to Death Blossom, and he gets walled off, dead-eyed. What a play coming from Civic Hill, showing up on the Cowboy. Nine frozen stiff, but able to find the kill onto the Mei regardless. Supercharger used in that endeavor to help OutCasts continue their momentum through to point B.
Yeah, I mean, that was just filth coming from them right there, and I mean, I'm not sure what to do. I mean, the Cowboy is showing up and showing out, and Garros on this Widowmaker is absolutely fragging. The tank play also, I mean, you can't.
Well, coming back in with Blizzard and Death Blossom, the defense just charged right onto the objective. Garros does pick off Bodzic along the way, but the Death Blossom finding some success, finding 2 kills. Gravitic Flux from the defense used as well. And with the overload of ultimates, BEsports will hold on here, but still plenty of time on the clock here for OutCasts to strike back.
Yep, and the defense is going to have not only a sound barrier in this next fight, but also Blizzard to stop the aggression coming from them. So that's going to counter the Gravitic Flux that Nine has already built up. However, you know, you're going to have to be able to aggress and take out Garros. Now Garros has decided that Ash is the proper player.
That was a 6-man Gravitic Flux. That's going to get the sound barrier out. Oh, wow.
Oh,
and a
wow.
huge flip from Civic Kill. So much damage coming down. Lucio cannot survive. The Sigma way low on health. Oriso falls as the attackers just throw so much pressure down. The Ash and the McCree. The damage output is insane from these two right now. Garros landing shots true. Coming off the Widowmaker onto that Ash and immediately making a big impact.
Yeah, and
that was a flashbang coach gun kill coming through onto that Lucio. Big plays.
that's going to get them into point C. 3.5 minutes left on the time bank to basically get up the ramp here. A little bit around the corner. Let me make sure where we're at. Yeah, the Victory Square is going to be in their sights around this corner here. Jedi online. Rally Supercharger.
Civic Kill is just lurking above them. Here comes the Deadeye. This is going to be big. Oh, it just finds one. Miraculously, I think the Kinetic Grass came up to save some of the teammates there, but the Mei goes down. And without that CC, BEsports going to find it very difficult to control this. OutCasts on match point. They can see Victory Square. They're going to drive it home, taking Route 66 and the series 3-1. No map 5 here today, OutCasts. They break the cycle, pulling a win through from the defensive position, moving on to the finals here in the Tier 4 division.
Yeah, and looking at Garros here, you know, MVP definitely of the match for me. Showing up, showing out, and just really fantastic plays from him. Throwing the bomb in and just clicking heads on that inside. Civic Kill gets an honorable mention for me, going from the off-take role to the DPS role, and showing that he has some skills as a DPS player as well.
Thanks, everyone.
Well, I mean, basically went from off tank to main tank to DPS.
Yeah.
Showed up in 3 different roles throughout the 4 maps. So great versatility and adaptation coming through from Civic Kill, but I couldn't agree more with Garros as your MVP pick. Time and time again, clicking the heads, landing some just phenomenal shots. What a big impact here today. Able to give OutCasts that 3-1 victory as they continue on through this playoff bracket.
The AC. Let us remind you guys that this is the 8th seed. They had to play their way into the tournament against the 9th seed Voyagers, and they've only lost 1 map throughout the entire playoffs.
Yep, including taking the 3-0 victory over the number 1 seed earlier in the week. And this one here today, they are now 9-1 in the postseason. They will move on to face the winner of Beach House Vibes versus Neko Cafe. That would be your 2nd and 3rd seeds here in the Tier 4 division. Awaiting the results of that, we'll find out who OutCast opponents will be as they move on to the finals. But we're done with our first series for the day here, Billy. But we have another one coming at you. We'll be taking a trip to the Tier 3 division here on the PlayStation 4 for our 2nd match of the day.
Shiva versus Redacted.
Indeed. Shiva taking on Redacted. So we're going to take a quick break. get that game set up for you. But we hope to see you back here shortly. Y'all don't go anywhere.